have been a single mom for all of 2 years, and I have to say, I hate it here. I don't hate being a mom. I don't hate having kids, but I hate the fact that I only had two options: either stay in an unhealthy, dysfunctional relationship or do it all on my own. And see, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I did the cooking, the cleaning. I was a primary person in charge of taking care of the children. And here I thought that that was a totally different category than being a working mom.
What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video. We got something pretty good today. We got this single mother here, upset, crying and complaining that life is very hard as a single mother. Life is very hard as a single mother. I mean, who would know? Who knew? Who knew life would be hard for a single mother? Who freaking knew that? I wouldn't have guessed that from a mile away. I would have just figured that, hey man, because they're so independent, strong, you know, women swear, you have so many women say, I don't need a man to have a child. I need a seed, but outside of that, I can ditch them, right? Outside of that, I can ditch them. I can do it without a man. You hear many women say that. You hear many women in the comments, shade room comments, say that, hey, well, guess what? I can raise my boy to be a man. When they end up raising him to be like Saucy Santana at the end of the day, or raise him to be somebody that is emotionally unstable. But of course, she pulls the narrative that, hey, well, you know, I was in a very bad situation, so I either stay in a toxic relationship or do it on my own. And then she turns around and she says it's upsetting that we made this a cultural norm. And her reasoning behind it is because she asked somebody or whatever, and somebody said, well, what's wrong? Well, you know, my life is hard, yada, yada, yada. And the only response that a person can give is, well, shit, you know, everybody going through it, man. And you then say, well, that's a cultural norm. Ma'am, that's just normal in general. It's not a cultural norm. That's just life. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to have consequences, period. And of course she says that, hey, well, you know, I was in a very toxic relationship. Yo, go on my page. Y'all hear so many women swear up and down they do in a toxic relationship. And as I stated before, shout out to Sister Daphne. She done sat up here, called a woman out because she was so on the internet creating a video talking about, you know, hey man, your baby fathers need to pay child support. So she made a whole song about it. Daphne got her on the channel. They talked about it. Everybody and their mama was sympathizing with the girl. But kudos to Sister Daphne. She decides to get the father on the line. And guess what? You hear the father's story and everything makes sense. And we're just like, so this chick was just out here lying and just trying to make everybody feel for her. And guess what? Daphne and her was beefing. So, I mean, once again, we can sit here and we can say, hey, well, you know, she said that she was going to be she was in a very toxic relationship. 9 times out of 10, she was the toxic one. 9 times out of 10, she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do as a mother. Now, she said that she was being a stay-at-home mother. 9 times out of 10, she wanted to say, hey, nah, I don't want to be here. Nah, I don't want to be just sitting at the house. I want to go out and go work. Okay, fine. You go out there and go work. Now you're complaining that, hey, well, I have to work and I have to come home and do this. It's like, well, ma'am, you should just shut up and just stay at the house then. You should have just shut up and stayed at the house. Well, I don't want to stay in the house. And see, this is where you try to tell women, this is reality. These are the cards that you dealt with. They will then complain and say, hey, well, nah. They will then pick another card and then complain about that card. Let's look at this video, man.
I have been a single mom for all of 2 years, and I have to say, I hate it here. I don't hate being a mom. I don't hate having kids, but I hate the fact that I only had two options: either stay in an unhealthy, dysfunctional relationship or do it all on my own. And see, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I did the cooking, the cleaning. I was a primary person in charge of taking care of the children. And here I thought that that was a totally different category than being a working mom. As a working mom, I'm literally still doing all of the same stay-at-home mom shit, just on a different schedule. But now with the added mental stress load of how do I pay every bill by myself? And that's not even the part that frustrates me. The kicker is that this is culturally normal and even embraced, that if you're a single mom, you're just going to struggle and that's it. Like, I could be on the brink of a mental breakdown, literally underwater, telling people like, I do not know how to make this better. And someone will ask me, what's wrong? Are you okay? No, I'm not. And the response is, well, You know, it's hard out here for everybody. And I get it. We all have our challenges. We're all going through our own struggles. But why is it culturally normal for this to be the only other option? Like at this point, I'm about to start dating other moms to see who wants to co-mother together. Because the fact that we're all just isolated, but going through the same exact challenges at the same time just feels ridiculous.
And as someone in the comments said, hold on, ma'am. You had a third option. It would have been a hard option, being a very, very hard option, but you could have still went out and go found yourself a sim, right? Because it sounds like, hey, guess what? I want to come back home. I just want to just chill. I just want to be an at-home mother. And this goes to where, hey, you know, you really don't appreciate what you have until it's gone, right? You really don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. 2 years later, now you crying and complaining, saying that it's hard. Man, you wanted to go out. You wanted to go work. Now you had that. You left your relationship and everything. 9 times out of 10, they were probably just going through something where she was being toxic. But hey, they were probably still going through something at the end of the day. Whether you are in a toxic relationship or whether you're in a good relationship, you're still going to have some issues. There's going to be times, man, where you have issues through a whole week, 2 months, whatever. But your mature ones work through it. Your mothers who are smart and got common sense, they would just work through and just say, hey, man, it is what it is. It's just another day. But you got women like this one who, hey, well, you know what? I think the grass is greener on the other side when it's not. When it's not. And once again, you sitting up here, you complaining, and you're just, oh, woe was me. Woe was me. And this is what we are seeing a lot of with these sisters. Once again, you have the third option, go find another guy. And I'm pretty sure she would be the same one of, why you want me to go fucking find another guy? Maybe I'm not ready for another guy, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, man, you crying about the first 2 options. Here's another option. You crying about that one. Just another example that you can't please a lot of these women. You can't. You had it all and lost it. You had it all and lost it. All because of your doing. All because you couldn't be patient. You couldn't just sit still. And once again, I get it. You know, she said that she was in a toxic relationship. As I stated before, 9 times out of 10, she was a toxic one. We see this way too many times, and women, sisters, other sisters see it, but they will still run with it every single time. For them, it's always, hey, well, you know, believe all women. You know, hey, if she says that she was in a toxic relationship, then hey, guess what? We're going to believe that, and we're going to hold the man accountable until he can prove that he wasn't toxic. That's just sick. Right? That's just sick, but that's the society that we live in. But let's read these comments. Someone says, or give them to the father. Well, that could be another thing. Just get the kids up. But a lot of your mothers won't do it. A lot of your mothers rather just sit here, put themselves in a bad position to become a single mother, complain that the father isn't there, yada yada yada, this, that, and the third. The father ain't trying to help. Then when the father is trying to help, oh no, you can't see my kids, you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, it's pattern of recognition right now, dude. It is a pattern of recognition. So then somebody else says, I've noticed that I never hear single dads complain, because at the end of the day, as I stated before on my last video, check all of my videos. I've never seen a father complain. I've never seen a father complain about being a single father. You never hear them complain about how hard it is. But yet here we are, we're watching a video of a sister complaining about how hard it is to be a single mother. You're hearing other women complain about how hard it is to be a single mother, something that they chose to be. I'm not talking about your widows. I'm not talking about the ones who were literally going through it with a man and they just were just super duper naive about the guy and he was just super bad or whatever. Generally, those are your pookies or whatnot. So then somebody else says, you had a husband, girl, and you allow folks to help you give your man away. Look deep before you leap. Hey, got that LaDainian Tomlinson. Boy. Yes, sir. And that's Andre 3000. I'm about to get Big Boy up in here. Put another one right here. And I got Deion Sanders as well coming too on Atlanta Falcons. But that's deep. Dog, that's deep. Dog, that is deep. Look deep before you leap. So she essentially is just saying, be aware of what you're about to do. Think before you make a decision. Think long and hard before you do that. But as I've stated before on plenty of my other videos, women only care about what is going to happen temporarily. They only care about the temporary moment. They only care about what's going on right now and not what could have, what the effects can be long term. Hey, I don't want to be at home mother no more. You know, I feel like he's toxic, yada, yada, yada. I want to go out there into the working world. And 9 times out of 10, she says she can do, I know for a fact, she said she can be a single mother by herself. She don't need nobody else. Okay, fine. You saying, hey, well, I don't want to, hey, I can do it all by myself. The first few months, you're good. First few months, your pride is still there. Your ego's still high. Man, look, I don't need nobody. I can do it by myself. 2 years later, hey, now you're here. So you skipped over the fact that, hey, well, it's going to be hard for me to find another mate, right? Because nobody's going to want to deal with a woman, man, who has multiple kids or a kid. It's already going to be hard to deal with that. Then you didn't take account that, hey, well, listen, it's going to be harder, even harder, that I'm going to be living on my own and I don't have no support, being that we are in the economy that we are in. And then not only that, long term, you're going to mess those kids up because they want to have a 2-parent household. But she does not care. She only cared about what was going on in that moment. If you can still give her options, she still would not care. All she's going to do is complain about it. And that's just my whole point. This is what your sisters are doing today. This is what you're seeing a whole lot of from your bitter baby mothers. This is what you're seeing from a whole lot of your women in general. They rather make the decision right then and there instead of actually thinking about it. Oh, well, man, yeah, whatever. We'll worry about that once we get there. But right now, hey, this is going to work for me right now. Well, ma'am, I get that, but you're talking about something that's way down the road that can really affect. Whatever. I'm gonna be disingenuous about that. So then somebody else says, don't have children if you are in a dysfunctional relationship. Then somebody else says, she described traditional housewife duties as being in a dysfunctional relationship. Then somebody else says, single moms are treated like men. Then somebody else says, my daughter's mother died and not once in the time I've been raising her on my own have I ever felt like it was too much. There were times where life was hard and I was overwhelmed, but I've never projected and made that my child's fault. What these women fail to realize is that even without children, life is hard at times. Push through it because that's what adults do. All of our sisters, man, who are bitter baby mothers, all of our sisters who have the mindset of this old lady that's on this video, understand that that's just being an adult. Having a hard life is just being an adult. Then somebody else says, some women seem to think that although it's their life, someone should come to save them. I don't get it. But once again, that's just women today. Then somebody else says, you had a third option, find a worthy man. Somebody else says, who wants to tell her? Then somebody else says, co-mothering is about to sweep the nation. Essentially, all that is just a bunch of bitter baby moms and a bunch of women who like to play victim coming together and saying, hey, well, let's help each other out. Let's do this. Y'all both got to work. So what, y'all just gonna have the kids play with each other? Wow, like, what are we doing here, man? Well, once again, this is just welcome to America, man. Then somebody else says, stop throwing good men out of the window. Husbands will never be perfect, but we are better than a guy who only wants your body. So that's the moral of the story. But y'all let me know down below. What do y'all think? I think this chick is just going through what most, if not all of your adults go through. But because we've allowed women, specifically your sisters, to be so entitled, to be so lazy, to not really want to be motivated, to not really want to make the right decisions, this is what we get. So, I mean, hey, man, look, do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel about this.